Now the questions from the internets. Do we really need a stock market? Wow, would slower corporate growth be such a bad thing, given how badly the market can hurt the world economy? That's interesting. I've never heard anybody ask that question.
You know, like Michael Moore say at one point in an oddly simple yet profound statement that, you know, I don't play the stock market. It's like Vegas. I put my money in what us old timers call a bank account.
Right.
Which I always thought was kind of worth a second thought.
But you know, if you look at the graph over time of where your money is in a bank account, it goes like this. And if you look over time where it is in the stock market, even with falls, it goes like this. Mm-hmm. It does make you more money.
So let's all go to Vegas right now.
Well, no, but Vegas, it goes like that. Vegas, you just lose your money. I mean, it is a casino, but it's not the casino like Las Vegas. But does anybody think we really could get along without a stock market? I mean, I happen to think a stock market, it does finance companies.
The Soviet Union got along with that one.
Yeah.
Well.
Right, exactly. Look how shitty they.
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said. No. All right. If the Supreme Court overturns the health care law, which I was surprised to see, the administration is pushing that now. They want it to go to the Supreme Court.
We need certainty.
Yeah, but it makes me nervous because the Supreme Court has done nothing, almost nothing, in the last 20 years, except make shitty corporate decisions. So,
fair enough.
So if the Supreme Court overturns the health care, what can the Democrats do about it? Well, nothing. That's why they call it the Supreme Court. Yeah.
It's not traffic court.
Yeah, no, it's not Judge Judy. I mean, it's the Supreme Court. Right. If they rule that, then that, you know, that would be, but that could happen.
Could happen.
I mean, I could think of
Thomas could get to say.
Well, you know he's going to vote against it. You know Scalia is going to vote.
No, not necessarily.
Really?
I mean, on the issue that is being raised, which is, does Congress have the right to be able to pass laws that affect interstate commerce, which health insurance certainly does? Scalia has been a great deferrer to Congress. Right. And so, you know, I don't know that it's a slam dunk, but certainly in light of the composition, I know.
All right.
It's hope springs eternal. Well,
if you read up about this stuff, you're going to make the rest of us look stupid.
Oh, sorry.
All right, if you want to bring facts and knowledge into
Sorry,
the governor.
Actual judicial precedent.
Now I'm an asshole. All right. This is for you, Dana. What is your opinion on WikiLeaks and their continued efforts to release classified U.S. documents? That's a good question. I should have asked you that out there.
You know, I think we've learned a lot from those documents. I don't think WikiLeaks' philosophy about the United States is very helpful, and it's probably pretty naive. But what we've learned in those cables have been fascinating.
But I read in the last month, I think it was about a month ago, that it's, you know, I was kind of for WikiLeaks, and then they said, well, actually, they're releasing a lot of stuff that is not vetted. Yeah.
Right.
And could harm people.
They've started, you know, in the beginning, the reporters they worked with at some of the major newspapers, you know, just one of them told me, took out their baseball bats at the end to get him to redact the names of the sources. And he did that for a while, but then he is a loose cannon, and he's not done that with other documents.
Well, actually, he's a house-arrested cannon.
I think,
he's not very loose.
You have to make a distinction between WikiLeaks and Julian Assange.
Right.
I think it's possible to describe Julian Assange as a world-class creep, you know, and be understating the matter. But there are things that did come out of WikiLeaks. I mean, and actually, oddly, it wasn't America that got most badly hit.
Right.
You know, if you discovered that the Nigerian government was taking money from the oil companies on a regular basis at a very large level, I want to know that. And I'm sure the people of Nigeria want to know that.
That's true.
You know, if you discover that Arab governments were begging the United States to bomb Iran, knowing that if the United States had been dumb enough to do that, those governments would have been the first ones to condemn the United States for doing it. So that level of hypocrisy amongst those old leaders, the Mubaraks and Gaddafis of the world, and the ones who haven't quite gone away, like the King of Saudi Arabia, I want to know that. You know, so oddly, he released these things to try and bring down the United States, but he actually hurt a lot of other countries' corrupt leadership more.
What do you think about the fact that Saudi Arabia announced this week they were going to let women vote? Not drive.
No. No, you try to drive to the polling booth, you get lashed.
No, that's right.
But I want to know what this vote is. You know? I mean,
Not for 4 years.
I mean, first of all, it's 4 years away, and what's this election in Saudi
It's
Arabia?
for like your
They're going to elect.
your local community advocate
catcher.
board. Yeah. It's,
But you gotta love these women, though, who are driving in the face of. I mean, it really is reminiscent of what happened here in the '60s at lunch counters. You know, they're peacefully protesting. There's not even a law that prohibits driving. It's just the Wahhabis and the, you know, the edict from the religious sect. So go,
Right,
women, go.
yeah,
You know, I love it.
The one woman who did it but she was, I think they rescinded it, but at first she was
supposed to get
10 lashes.
10 lashes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know how much women love their lashes. Do you think the U.S. would ever institute a fat tax like Denmark recently passed on butter and chips?
Oh, I see.
This goes with this
Not
other.
that people. You get on the scale, and that determines how much you
Well,
are.
the Army did.
This goes with this other question I have. Do you think Governor Christie's weight should be an issue?
Come on.
I'm just reading the questions. They kind of go together. I mean, but people are talking about this, whether Chris Christie's weight should be an issue in this
He
election.
could just make his campaign slogan, one of these days, right in the Oval Office.
I guess the office needs to be over.
I could have done better. I could have done better than that. I'm sorry.
Okay, and do you think the online petitions promoting a constitutional amendment to remove money from politics have any chance of succeeding?
Can you answer that?
No.
No chance, but I wish. Don't you wish?
Yeah, I do wish.
At least the corporate side. Get rid of corporate money in elections. It's
Good luck. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panel. We will see you next week. Thank you.